A good place to start with this channel, I think, is on the idea of vision. The idea of vision. Many times when I'm feeling like, my life isn't going great, or I feel like something's off, I feel like, something isn't exactly quite right. What I notice is usually it has something to do with my vision, in that usually it has something to do with either my vision has changed because I've changed, or my vision is unclear. And so what that leads to is the feeling of sort of like anxiety, feeling of being confused, feeling of even being sad, being sort of a bit depressed at times. Vision essentially just refers to your picture of the life that you're heading towards. In other words, the life that you would like to have. That's your vision. So really, it's important to have a clear vision, at least, in my opinion, at least of where you would like to be in the next year. At least. If a year is too much to sort of think about, if a year is too much to look ahead to, then at least to the next, 6 months or something like that. I'd very much recommend, an easy way to kind of lay this out, when I make my own vision, once every so often. What I do, yeah, it's quite simple. The only thing I do is I basically just lay out, real simply, a couple different sections that I'd like to organize sort of my life into, and then start thinking about what goals or what would I like these parts of my life to look like. Okay. It's not really complicated, yeah, it's pretty simple. So for example, number one, I'd start with money. Okay. What would I like my money situation to be like? In other words, what would I like and this could be job, career, business, what would I like my money situation to be like? And you obviously just want to be a bit realistic in terms of if it's a year, okay, you're not likely gonna, 4x your money. It's possible, but it's probably not likely. So just make it realistic in that this way you'll have something to head towards. Does it make sense? A vision real simply is just basically where is it you would, you know, you paint a picture that you can look at which inspires you, essentially. That's a vision. You paint a picture of a year from now or 5 years from now. Yeah, for me, my vision right now is set at about 5 years from now. You paint a picture of 5 years from now, and I also have one for 1 year from now. Actually, I have both. And essentially, what the image does, and I have it as the background on my computer, and on my phone I have the 1 year vision, and on my computer I have the 5 year vision. And what it does basically is it means that every time I open up my computer and I look at it, I see, okay, this is where I'm heading towards, and it motivates me, it inspires me because it means that now, to an extent, I am in control of where I am going. Does it make sense? I have set the direction of where I'm heading. And so I no longer feel just basically like I'm being pulled along by something else or someone else. I no longer feel like I'm powerless. I don't feel as anxious because I would say a large part of anxiety, maybe all of it, is the feeling. It's when you start to detach from your uh, connection to your own free will or your own personal ability to choose your agency. The anxiousness is a feeling essentially of loss of control. When you feel overwhelmed, anxious, nervous, afraid, it's because you feel like there's things that are going to happen and you won't be able to do anything about them, right? Otherwise, why would you be anxious, right? You don't feel anxious, for example, um, you don't feel anxious, for example, about I don't know, that your cup's gonna start talking or something like that. Yeah, some of you might. If you do, I can't help you. You're on a different level, man. I'm joking, but the point is, you don't feel anxious about things which like that, right? Because it's not actually a possibility even, right? You feel anxious about other things because you feel like you won't be able to control them. Does that make sense? You won't be able to control them, and therefore having a vision, setting a vision, something you can look at, you can head towards, like for example, with your money, for example, in a year, I would like to have this much amount of money. m- I'd like to be making this much amount of money every month, or I'd like to have this much amount of money saved. Maybe I'd like to have uh, this much amount of money invested, like that. Yeah, money goals like this. I'd like to get my budgeting on point. Money goals. Okay, then number two, after your money, I'd say the next thing would be um something to do with either your health. This is gonna be a big one for a lot of people. You know, maybe you weigh a certain amount. Excuse me. You know, would you like to weigh more? Would you like to weigh less? And then again, you can just make it kind of, think about it in a way that is make it enough to where you can head towards it and feel like, okay, every day I can do something to get closer to it, which is, when you set the vision long term, you set the vision a year from now, then it means now you have something you're heading towards, a goal, a big goal, and then you can break that down into the mini goals like I'm explaining to you, and then it means now you have something to do. Does it make sense? Which takes away the anxiety and so on, and the feeling of hopelessness and all that, and the nihilism or existential dread. It takes away all of those things because it means now you have things to do. Okay, so you don't need to think, what should I do? Because you got the thing right there for you. It's laid out for you. And the best thing about it is you are the one who created it, right? You're the one who laid it out, which means now it's you got things to do and you are the one who wants to do them, right? You want to do them because you laid them out, right? And the more you do, the closer you get to your, ideal life, the closer you get to the ideal that you're heading towards. And that's what feels good. Yeah, that's what feels good. Progress feels good. And so, in terms of just quickly, in terms of just the things that I would think about for your own vision, I would think about money, I would think about health. Money also includes career, yeah, like job or business or whatever it is. So, money, so that would include like getting a promotion or something, yeah. I would just mean it includes all of that kind of stuff, okay? Money, health, relationships. So, it could be that you want an actual, you're looking for a long-term partner. Could be you're trying to date, could be uh, all that kind of stuff. And then also I'd say relationships in terms of your like social relationships, like maybe it could be going out more, it could be um, I wanna try and join a new club. I wanna try and get involved in different types of events so then I can make more friends who are into this kind of activity. That kind of thing, yes, like social life, social life. That's important, yeah. And then your final one, I'd say this is important too, would be more like creative or like personal type goals. And for me, the way I organize all of this for me, okay, is none of these for me are like general. All of it is organized based on my own understanding of who I am and who I would want to be. That's the key of vision. Yeah. It's not just about like, oh, this would be a good idea. It's about who are you? Who do you think you are? Who would you, more importantly, who would you like to be? Who would you like to be? So for me, all of my goals, all of my vision is aligned with who I would like to be. When I think about 5 years from now, I think, yeah, I would like to live that life. I would like to be that guy based on who I actually am internally, who I know I am. For example, with me, it's like I know that lecturing, writing books, doing martial arts, making music, all these kind of things. Yeah, I know that these are all internal to me. These are all my natural inclinations, gifts, talents. So I'm aimed at bringing those out. Even these advice videos that I'm gonna make now, this is also part of my who I am, yeah, as a sort of teacher and so on. Does it make sense? So you want to make sure you align your vision with who you are, who those things you feel inside. Listen to them. One of the biggest lessons, and I'll finish with this. One of the biggest lessons I've learned, even just this year, okay, is that you have something inside you, a voice, which will pull you in certain directions. And it's a good voice, not the bad one yet, but it's a good one. You know this one because it pulls you and it tells you, bro, you should be doing this here. You should be doing this. This is who you should be. You should be. And it's not an envious thing. It's like the thing might not even make any money or something like that. Yeah, it might not even have any material what do you call it, reward, but it's like you should be. And when you do that thing you feel really happy, like it's like a genuine happy, like childlike happy. Listen to that voice, okay, listen to that voice, and don't just try and pay attention to what's the smart thing to do. I'll give you an example of this. Paying attention for me to the smart thing, the rational thing to do, what's the thing that makes sense to do. I wrote an entire book. I published it. I made an entire a course on business, 12 and a half hours long, a serious, legit course on business. I created an entire business, okay, of business mentoring, and none of it worked. It didn't kick off. Why? Because I was thinking about what's the smart thing to do, what makes sense to do. I'm been in business now 5 years, but more. Oh, I can teach business, right? I'm self-made. I don't have a job. I ain't had a job in some years. All my money's strictly independent. Well, I can teach business, right? No, because why? I don't care about making money yet. Or I care about it, but not like I don't really care about business. That makes sense. It's not something which I would sit down and talk about with someone, or I don't reflect on it. I care about what philosophy, life, helping people, understanding truth, virtue, living free. I got it tagged on my arm, yeah. Live. These are the things I care about: truth, freedom, virtue, philosophy, helping others, especially helping young people. Teaching them stuff which I never had a chance to learn. So I don't care about business yet or making money strictly. Does it make sense? Money is like something you have to make. If I didn't have to make it, I wouldn't even think about it. Make sense? Anyway, so the point is, don't try and just think about what's the smart thing to do, because the smart thing to do won't work, in my opinion, unless you actually are aligned with it and care about it in an authentic, real way. Because there's other people out there who actually genuinely care about business. It's what they think about, and they care about all the different ways of doing business and all that. And so people can go learn from them. Yeah, they can get mentoring from them. Whereas I don't really care about it yet, so it makes sense that the thing didn't work out. Does that make sense? So vision, set your vision, okay? And again, don't try and make one that you think other people will think is good, or don't try and make one that you think, here's the things I should do, or here's the things which, you know, even if you don't care about them, but set it based on what would you actually like to live like? Who would you actually like to be, if you could choose? And lay that out for yourself. Think about it, enjoy it, enjoy, fantasizing about it, and lay that out for yourself, and then break it down into little mini goals. And now you have a roadmap that should help you out, should make you feel better. And you can do this, every so often as you change, as you grow. You can keep on making new visions, and this will help you, you know, to continue to write your story. And before you know it, you'll be on an adventure.